Twilight Gets a Puppy. By TDR. Chapter 112. Beast Night Ever. Prologue. Several months after the sonic rain boom. "Ah, my beautiful babies, you're finally home with me." Twilight cooed, pulling the last of the books from the crate, looking them over before carefully setting them up to be reshelved. She had initially thought to find her brother for all the books he had lost, but unfortunately Shining had gotten a library card for Golden Oaks, thanks to Spike, the trader, and checked them all out following the rules. Her own rules, in fact. Rules she set up to remove any limit on the number of books that she herself could check out and the extended return dates based on the number checked out. Shining had 3 years to return them all, by her own calculations and rules. She had quickly closed that loophole. Spike looked up from his comic book and glanced over at his sister from his spot on the beanbags in the Foals section of books before shaking his head and going back to the Power Ponies comic he was reading. It was his usual spot lately. With spring break happening in school, he had a week of practically nothing to do, and with Twilight hoarding the books he didn't even have to do anything with the library. Scootaloo was off with her parents for a week, and Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom had been spending a lot of time getting ready for the gala, so it had been a surprisingly peaceful week. Ross was stretched out on the couch doing his best to ignore his sister as he thumbed through a new novel he had picked up from an author named Double Moon. It was an odd sort of romance story that had a number of supernatural elements that were rather strange, but still interesting. It was a far better read than that book series that held his sister's name. He actually identified a bit with the main Char, though the book was oddly designed to make him a sympathetic Char. It had been rather quiet, aside for Twilight's whining, since the Best Young Flyers competition. Sure, there had been some CMC shenanigans, and the usual Tuesday troubles, but otherwise nothing major had happened. It was rather nice to have a normal time of it for once. Well, as normal as one could get in Ponyville. Suddenly Ross felt a tingling burning in his ears and he quickly bolted upright, tail lashing behind him as he tried to figure out the source. "What's the matter, Ross? Get a flea?" Twilight snarked before the book he was reading bounced off her nose. "Ow!" Twilight shouted, rubbing her nose as her horn glowed. "Don't treat books like that. Even the trashy romance ones." Ross's response was cut off as Twilight retaliated with the lid of the book crate, knocking her brother back over the couch. Spike wisely opted to stay out of it. "Woof!" Ross shouted as he clambered back up over the couch, glaring at his sister. "What do you mean you feel a song coming on?" Twilight questioned. "Bark," Ross explained. Spike raised a brow at that. "So you just know somewhere out there, some pony is doing a musical number? How do you even sleep at night? There must be stage plays like that going on all over the place." Spike pointed out. "Rough," Ross explained. "Shining armor." Twilight blinked. Why would he be in a musical number? The three pondered a moment before there was a collective wince. "Shining is at the gala." "At the gala." "At the gala." Author's note. This of course is set up to read and flow right into the next chapter, but I'm having a bit of a issue with it. Let's just say the music starts here. End author's note. End chapter 112. Beast Night Ever. Prologue.